St. Mary's Church is a small medieval parish church. The building probably dates from the 15th century, with some alterations. The date of construction of the church is uncertain, but it is a medieval building, probably from the 15th century. The 19th century clergyman and antiquarian Harry Longueville Jones thought that the church was probably 16th century in date, but might have been built using material from an older structure. The historian Anthony Carr has suggested that this was the church dedicated to St. Mary that was sacked by Normans in 1157. During the 16th century, the windows of the nave had mullions, stonework supporting the window structure, added, and the roof trusses date from later in the same century, or early in the following century. In 1833 History of Anglesey, an antiquarian is said that the church had been for years in a state of such dilapidation as to preclude the performance of divine service, but it was noted that it was being rebuilt at that time. However, compared to other churches in Anglesey, the 19th century changes were not substantial. Repairs were undertaken in 1936 under the supervision of the architects Harold Hughes and William G. Williams. People associated with the church include Henry Rowlands, a clergyman and antiquarian. He was the incumbent priest of St. Needans and its chapels of ease from 1696 until his death in 1723, and wrote a history of Anglesey, Mona Antiqua Restaurata. Before we go inside, please like and subscribe to help with the channel. Inside it contains a 12th century carved stone font and a 13th century decorated coffin. Also later we will see the grave of Maurice Wilks, who invented the Land Rover, is buried in the churchyard. The roof, which is made from slate, has a bell coat with one bell at the west end. The inscription on the bell states that it was cast in 1582, and the bell is also marked with a fleur-de-lis and the thrice-repeated initials AMN. Inside, although there is no structural division between the nave and the chancel, there is a 19th century wooden screen with wrought iron gates between them, and a step up into the chancel. The sanctuary is marked with a further step, as is the base of the altar. Both steps are decorated with encaustic tiles. The internal woodwork of the roof, which has 7 bays, or sections, is exposed. The roughly oval gritstone font at the west end of the nave, which is from the 12th century, has a zigzag pattern and 3 sides decorated with a cross. The base of the font, which is rectangular with rounded corners, has misshapen carved human heads at the corners and in the middle of one side, and a snake on 2 of the sides. A P-shaped sign on the east side of the font may have been added later. St. Mary's has a coffin lid dating from the middle of the 13th century, displayed upside down on the north wall of the chancel. It is decorated with a carved cross and a foliage design. The historian and clergyman Edmund Tyrrell Green, writing a survey of Anglesey church architecture and contents in 1929, referred to the coffin lid as one of the county's outstanding examples of sepulchral memorials. Maurice Wilks, the 19th of August 1904 to the 8th of September 1963, was an English automotive and aeronautical engineer, and by the time of his death in 1963, was the chairman of the Rover Company. He was the founder of the Land Rover marque and responsible for the inspiration and concept work that led to the development of the first Land Rover off-road utility vehicle. Maurice Wilks worked from 1922 to 1926 for the Hillman Motor Car Company in Coventry. In 1926 he went to work for General Motors in the United States, but after 2 years in the US, returned to England and Hillman. Rover gas turbine-powered car. Wilks remained at Hillman as a planning engineer until 1930, when he moved to the Rover Company as chief engineer following his much older brother, Spencer. Spencer Wilks had been brought in from Hillman in September 1929 by Rover's Frank Searle, made general manager and given a seat on Rover's board the following year. Spencer would be appointed managing director of Rover from 1932. In 1930, Spencer and Maurice Wilks, on Spencer's appointment to the board, made the important decision to make only high-quality cars. During World War II, Wilks led Rover's team developing Frank Whittle's gas turbine aircraft engines. Experiencing difficulties with Whittle's team, Rover passed the project to Rolls-Royce in 1943. After the war, Wilks continued working with gas turbine engines, leading to Rover unveiling the first gas turbine-powered car in 1949. Land Rover Series 1. Shortly after the war, whilst at his farm in Anglesey, Wilks, who used an Army surplus Willys Jeep for farm work, and his brother Spencer, who was visiting him, were inspired to develop and produce a utility four-wheel drive vehicle for farmers, and the name Land Rover was coined for it. By the summer of 1947, Rover had built a prototype Land Rover vehicle based on a Jeep chassis. In September 1947, the Rover Company authorized the production of 50 pre-production models for evaluation purposes. The Land Rover was launched to the world at the 1948 Amsterdam Motor Show. Maurice Wilks was a leading light in the establishment and development of the proving ground facilities of the Motor Industry Research Association. Maurice Wilks remained chief engineer until appointed technical director in 1946. He was appointed joint managing director with brother Spencer Wilks in August 1956 and succeeded his brother as managing director in November 1960. In January 1962, preferring policy to day-to-day management, he was appointed chairman of the Rover Company in succession to his older brother Spencer Wilks. The managing director appointment was given to W.F.F. Martin Hurst. Wilks died at his farm near Newborough, Anglesey, on the 8th of September 1963. He was 59.